Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Today our topic is related to Hajj. We can proceed normally lectures given related to any topic, and Hajj is just one of those. We can go in two ways. One is just to mention how things are done in a simple way, the procedures taken. The other is we mention al-arkan, al-wajibat, al-shurut, al-sunan, al-mahdhurat, and all those things separately. I will go for the former, the first one, as a part of explanation, and later on, if in questions or from my own side, we will mention few things in the duration of the lecture or separately as the need would arise. Barakallahu fikum. Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Shaykh Abu Anas, Hafidahullah, he mentioned a lot of things which are the objectives being achieved through performance of the Hajj. He mentioned many of those points, and I would not want to repeat it here, but I would like to remind myself and you that let us be among those who focus on those objectives, because that is what is needed out of any act of worship. That's point number one. Secondly, related to Al-Hajj, as I said, it is one of the pillars of Islam. Bunya al-Islam ala khams. It is based on the pillars of Islam are five, not pillars of faith, there are six. In here it is a shahada, a salat, the prayers 5 times, a zakah, a siyam, or you may say siyam, and then a zakah, and then al-hajj. In some of the hadiths, hajj comes before these two also. So, Hajj, what is Hajj? We all know what is Hajj. Hajj, translated in English, means pilgrimage. So when you use the word pilgrimage in the internet, in an open internet, not yours. When I mean internet, I mean your device. Pilgrimage can go to the Hindu one, or the Sikh one, or the Buddhist one, or the Christian one, or anything. But if you put pilgrimage in your own laptop, unless you have been naughty, it will only take you to Makkah. Because that's the way computer they sense, that you are a person around Makkah. You are a person who has to do things with Makkah. You are a person who has to do with things with Salah. You are a Muslim. You know that computers, they know whether you are a Muslim or not? Yes, from this it's very clear. They are not able to speak, but they say, this guy must be a Muslim, or someone who is the biggest enemy of Muslims, trying to find out about Islam. So this pilgrimage, when we say in English, it only for us as Muslims, it means al-hajj ila Baytullah al-Haram. Unless you are in Iran, then your pilgrimage may indicate other things, right? And others have got their own agendas, including Kashmir to the Qadianis and so forth. But we are Muslims, Sunni Muslims. So our original is always what is Quran and Sunnah. Barakallahu fikum, mashallah. So you see, pilgrimage are two types. Al-Hajj al-Akbar wal-Asghar is being differentiated. They use the term, but it's Al-Hajj wal-Umrah. In English it will be main Hajj and minor Hajj, or major Hajj and minor Hajj. Because there is no specific word in English which you can apply to the word Umrah. Umrah can be done all year round. No restriction at all the entire 355 days. But when it comes to Hajj, it is only very specific, done only in the month of Dhul Hijjah, and of course both of them in Makkah. And the days of that is limited to 6. It starts from 8th of Dhul Hijjah and carries on for 5 or 6 days. 5 if you want to rush out, and 6 if you are able to have sabr and stay back. I use the word sabr, you do understand what it means. Now, we are going to start with how the Hajj starts, meaning that how you start it right from the beginning till the end, bi'idhnillah. And the best of the hadith is the hadith of Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu fi Sahih Muslim. And I'm not going to individually quote from here and here and here, because I'm trying to catch up with everything within this limited time which we have. Just in case if you are bored, you get tired, you are most welcome to get up and start jogging a bit in your place, without disturbing others, and then you sit down. We will know why you are doing it. Barakallahu fikum. Now Al-Hajj, as I said, I will explain it in a general way. It was mandated on the 9th year of Hijrah. It was not wajib before. Hajj was done all year round for years before. We know that Ibrahim a.s. and those who came after and before whatever, but Hajj was done with whatever was intact and whatever extras were introduced and whatever was forgotten. In the 9th year of Dhul Hijjah, Allah mandated Al-Hajj. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he sent Abu Bakr and later on followed by Ali. The reason he did not go among those being mentioned because al-mushrikun, they still, the infidels, they still attended there, in other words could be used for al-mushrikeen, and among those things being practiced there were that they may do Hajj without clothes and few other things. So he sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not go, but he sent message. And he nominated on his behalf Abu Bakr and followed by Ali for reasons. Next year, the one after, that's the 10th year of Hijrah, he sallallahu alayhi wasallam went to perform Hajj, which is known as Hajj al-Wida', the farewell Hajj. After that he came sallallahu alayhi wasallam back to Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara. So in which month did he do the Hajj? Dhul Hijjah, na'am, it's easy to say. And he came back in Dhul Hijjah to Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara, then Muharram, Safar and Rabiul Awwal. What happened in Rabiul Awwal? He died sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So just after around 90 days from his performance, a little bit less, he passed away alayhi salatu wassalam. And the last of the things which he said before passing away, مع الصديقين مع النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. And he passed away alayhi salatu wassalam. So let us see what he did. First of all, when you want to do Hajj, the actual activities of the Hajj, you change your clothes. Wear ihram. Ihram is a too simple piece of cloth. All the men at present, they are only wearing white. Alhamdulillah. Simple clothing. You may use a belt, you may wear your watch if you want to, and so forth. You have to make the intention before or from the miqat. Before is acceptable, but not the sunnah, not recommended. But among the Sahabas, such as Abu Huraira, I think he did it from Bayt al-Maqdis, and Ibn Mas'ud from Basra, from what I recall. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu. But the sunnah is that you do it from the miqat. The furthest miqat is Dhul Hulayfa, which is in Medina, which is more than 400 kilometers away from Makkah. This thing is not a struggle, not a biggie thing, because whenever you go for Hajj or Umrah, you will be guided. Even if you are on the plane, the announcement will come that we are approaching the miqat, please make your intention. Intention is different, you're wearing the clothes or something else. Wearing the clothes is you are preparing yourself for Umrah or Hajj. In this case for both, because we are talking about Hajj. So once you wear your clothes, you are not allowed to wear like t-shirt, like thobe, or like underwears, unless needed for some medical reasons or something. Of course, then you have to give fidya later on. Among the medical reasons, it's quite common between men and women, such as issues related to urine and things. Where if you wear a ihram, it's a tricky issue. For women, it's different anyway. They are wearing normal clothes anyway. So you are wearing this, and then the time comes for the niyyah. The best is when you start to ride your car, though you can do before. Do you need to pray any specific salah? Try to make your intention straight after your thought if you can, but it's not always possible. The timing is different. You don't work on your time if you are in a group. It's based on what the group has been designed to do. So whenever it is, some they say, okay, you can pray to Sunnah for Niyah, some they say no. That's not a big thing if you end up doing it anyway. And then you make your intention. You boys at the back, please. Can you all come forward? All the boys come forward, please. The boys, those who are not married, come forward. Anybody sitting at the back, I will consider you married. Come in front, please. Unless you are 6'7", you don't need to come. Okay, mashallah. Now, so you are wearing your ihram. Before wearing the ihram or even after you wear ihram, you have not made your intention yet. You can use those things which may be restricted after. And that is like perfume, attar. It can be normal attar, even it can be normal perfume, though there are reservations to that, so you better avoid it. If you need to clip your fingernails, toenails, you need whatever of those kind of things, do it before you make the intention, even though you are wearing ihram, it's okay. It's best to have the shower, bath, whichever of the two you do, before wearing. As a tip, it is always better to get dressed in the hotel. It's easier compared to at the miqat. Another thing, it is best to get dressed at the hotel compared to in the plane, which is almost next to extremely difficult. Still, it is better and easier to wear it at the airport before boarding the plane compared to in the plane. If you have difficulties, or even if you don't have, you can always wear a t-shirt on top just before the intention. You just have to take off your t-shirt. Simple as that. These are the tips which you need to observe. Now you make the niyam. The month of Dhul Hijjah where you can make the intention for Hajj starts from Shawwal and Dhul Qa'dah. We are in Dhul Qa'dah. Dhul Hijjah is about to start very soon, as we are just about 2 weeks and a day or two away from Eid. So and then this is part of Dhul Hijjah, and that you make the intention for Hajj. There are 3 types of Hajj, which is Hajj Ifrat, which is only Hajj. The other one is Al-Hajj wal-Umrah man, the Hajj will be Qarin, Al-Qiran. The third one is Tamattu', where you do your Umrah, get out of the Umrah, get out of Ihram, and then you wear your Ihram on the day of Hajj, which is the 8th, the most ideal time. Scholars have differed among the 3 which is the best. I will leave it for discussion later if needed. Say you are going from here, so you will go and pass to the miqat, and before that you make your intention for Hajj and Umrah. You either say Labbaik Allahumma laka umratan, oh Allah, I'm going for Umrah, and then of course after Umrah you make the intention for Hajj, or Umratan wa min thamma Hajjan, and after that Al-Hajj. That's okay to say it also. This is the only time fil Hajj wal Umrah where you utter the words of niyyah, intention. Other ibadat such as salah and siyam and others, it's in your heart. From there the restriction applies. For men, you cannot cover your head, you cannot wear normal clothes, you cannot wear shoes which covers your ankles, you can wear sandals, slippers and things like that. You are not allowed to use socks, you are not allowed to use perfume, you are not allowed to clip your nails and fingernails and other things. The same applies to the women. In the exception, her code of dressing is different. She doesn't use perfume, clipping nails and hair and so forth. However, she is allowed, and she should in fact wear and cover her head and her legs socks if she wants to, which is better, unless she is wearing really long clothes. The restriction applies to Qafazain, the gloves, which she is prohibited to wear, and also the niqab, which is designed specifically for the face with these 2 opener of the eyes. it does not mean she is not allowed to cover her face. If she is, then she can, using a normal khimar, the normal veil. In case she doesn't know or cannot use the khimar due to difficulties and she has to use the niqab, then in this case she will also have to give the fidya. The fidya is a form of expiation, and that is, let me mention just in case I don't forget later, it is either you sacrifice or you fast 3 days or you feed 6 miskin, which is the easiest in Makkah, and that is not going to cost you much, just around 3 kilograms of grains such as rice or dates or something. This is all you have to do if you wear niqab or for whatever reasons other things, which included the medical reasons for men, which I just said about underwear. So this is what it is, and then you proceed and you say labbaik Allahumma labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, innal hamda wal ni'mata laka wal mulk la sharika lak, ila an tasil Makkah, till you get to the Makkah. Once you arrive in the Kaaba, arriving in Makkah is another complicated issue for us currently due to so many things you have to go through, such as you have to get to the hotel, you are sitting in a bus or whatever, and then you get down there, you put your stuff there, probably you are not able to check in because you are still too early, whatever, you leave the luggage, you may have to wait a group for everyone to get ready, and then you are proceeding to Makkah, whatever, to Kaaba. Al-Muhim, important is you arrive there. Your Umrah has started, and your Hajj is part of the trip of this Umrah from the miqat. That's the actual place where it starts. The restrictions, regulations of Al-Hajj wal-Umrah begins from there, not any moment before. It's with the niyyah and not with the clothing. You arrive in Makkah, you start your tawaf of Al-Kaaba, starting from Al-Hajr al-Aswad, which if you are able to touch and kiss, mashallah, if not, then to touch, mashallah, if not, then to touch with something, if not, then at least you do ishara just like this, Bismillah Allahu Akbar, and move on. Your Qibla will always, your Kaaba will always be on your left, and then you proceed circumambulation of the Kaaba 7. 3 of those for men, showing their muscles, right? Only on the 3, not for the rest of the trip. So you cover yourself well before. That's the sunnah. Once you finish, there is no specific dua apart from Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhaban nar between Rukn al-Yamani and Al-Hajr al-Aswad. So Rukn al-Yamani is the 3rd corner, from there to Hajr al-Aswad. That is where this dua. Apart from that, you can read Quran, you can do adhkar, you can make dua. Be careful, be considerate of others. Do not push yourself and make yourself spaces by any form of strength. Avoid when others are doing that you do the same. Barakallahu fikum. Once you finish, then you have the sunnah of Maqam Ibrahim, the first rak'ah with al-kafirun, the other with al-ikhlas, which you can pray anywhere within the haram. It's okay. Due to the crowd, it's not always easy to pray in the same place. You may have to go really further away. In between, Ma Zamzam, if you are able to get to there and drink it. Then you go to As-Safa wal Marwa. As-Safa starts from that small mountain, it's well polished now, it's not something very big or difficult to get on. And then the Marwa, the other side. You start with in As-Safa wal Marwa, and then La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, that dua, and then you proceed further. In the first 3 rounds of a tawaf, where you are bulging up your muscles, that is where a man is supposed to go faster. I ignored to mention it because it's overcrowded and you may not be able to achieve it, but still I should mention it. But in Safa wal Marwa, it's most likely you will see green lights. There's a green light, and the distance between the two is less than 100 meters, probably 50 meters or something, Allahu Alam. This is where for men it's good to do a bit like a kind of jogging kind of thing, right? Which if you cannot for whatever reasons, it's fine. If you don't do even without any reason, still it's okay. But let us follow the sunnah as much as possible. So you start from Safa, you end up at Marwa like this. Your round number 7 will always finish at Marwa, because it's not like Tawaf, you have to do the whole thing. It's circumambulation of the Kaaba. It starts from the same position, finishes at the same. In a sa'i between Safa and Marwa, it starts from Safa and finishes at Marwa. That's one round. Once you finish, this is the ending part of your Umrah. What is the last part of it? The hair, your beautiful hair. If you are near the Hajj, then trim your hair. Do not shave it. Unless you are a week or two away, then it's okay. So otherwise you shave your hair, and that is where the ajr, the reward is more. For sisters, if they are using their braids, that's two, that normally some they do three, that end the part of it, qadr al-mula, this is just about a centimeter, even less or more a bit, to take it from the bottom part, and that's it. For men, if they decide to trim, trimming does not mean take your scissors, and there are lots of boys around there that will do it for you here and here. No, they're doing it for the fun and getting money. No, you have to get it really trimmed from everywhere. So make sure you get it done that way. Your Umrah is done, you get out of all the restrictions. Now you wait for the 8th of Zulhijjah. The actual Hajj starts from Yawm al-Tarwiyah, Yawm al-Mina. On that particular day, it's best that you arrive in Mina before Zohar, or even early in the morning. If not, then if delayed for whatever reasons, normally it has to do with transportation, always, challenges. If not, then wherever you are, once you arrive there. But before that, say for example, you are still in Makkah, though Mina is part of it, meaning that in your hotel or somewhere, and you were delayed, you pray your salawat wherever you are. Do not say, once I get to Mina, I will. If this is for those who arrive in Mina in time, then you pray your Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, fil waqt, in al-Fajr. But qasran, la jam'an. You do 2 Zohar and 2 Asr and 2 Isha, but in its specific time. You do whatever you can, ibadat. There is nothing specific apart from being there which you have to do. In the morning of Yawm Arafah, and this is the most important one, is we know that there are, let me mention, we have got 4 arkan, 4 pillars of Hajj, which if you miss out on one, your Hajj is invalid. And that is your niyyah, intention that you are doing Hajj. The other is this Arafah, which we are arriving at right now in moments. And the 3rd and 4th is the tawaf and sa'i of Hajj, which you, once you come back from Arafah, the day after you do. So these 4 things you have to achieve for your Hajj to be valid. So now you are moving to Arafah. You may go early in the morning, late or wherever, depending on your arrangements. Though you can stay in the valley, which is before arrival to Arafah, but nobody does that. It's not practical at present. So you enter Arafah and Khalas, that's it, wherever your camp is. If you are able to get to the masjid, great. If not, do not overdo it to make sure that you get there. You don't really have to. Wherever you are, within the boundary of Arafah, that's good for you. Don't worry, don't think that you may not be in the boundary of Arafah. The security there, they make sure that everybody is within the boundary of Arafah, due to the importance of that. If you are able to make it to the mountain of Arafat, Abdul Rahman and other places, fine, but normally discouraged, because the reason is that everyone wants to go there. So from there, you do Jama' Taqdeem. You pray Zohar and Asr in Zohar time. After that, you have got this ample amount of time, hours and hours and hours. Focus not on eating. Eat as less as practical for you. Everybody differs. So that you have more thingy, for more time, more energy for your ibadat, which includes dua, the most important. There are many dua among those which has been mentioned and those which are not mentioned, like for Arafah. Then you can do adhkar, like Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah. Then you can recite Quran. So all of these, whichever of these you have the strength, you may not be able to continue in the same thing for hours, this, that, whatever. Do it. If you really need a break, like a snap for a while, a few minutes, so that you get the energy back, it's okay. You can do that. It's not wrong. You have to be there till what? Sunset. If you move out of Arafah before sunset, you have to come back. Which if you don't, then you have to give fidyah. and this time it is a sacrifice. 3 kg of rice will not do, because it is a wajib. That's why. So you need to be in Arafah till sunset. And the time of Arafah is ila tulu' al-fajr, till the fajr time. Which means if anyone is delayed for whatever valid reasons or not valid, it doesn't matter. If they manage to enter Arafah boundary, even like boom, beginning of Fajr, they can start with their Hajj. If not, they have missed the Hajj. That's how important this particular day is. Al-Hajj Arafah, Al-Hajj Arafah, Al-Hajj Arafah. After that, you arrive in Muzdalifah. That one night which you have to spend there with the least of the facilities in that particular place, due to reasons known best to us. It's a limited place, a small place, there's much up there, and people they arrive there late, and many they move on earlier. In that particular night, when you arrive there, that is when you pray your Maghrib and Isha, unless you are missing out and you are going to be too late. It could be traffic, it could be any other thing. So the best of the view is that Isha time is till Muttasifil midnight. And some they say no, it is ila tulu' al-fajr. Some they say lid-darura ila tulu' al-fajr, up to the midnight, and then anything after if it is for darura, otherwise not. Whichever of the two it is, you are safer to offer your Maghrib and Isha before midnight. So for example, you are proceeding and midnight comes. Midnight calculation between Adhaan al-Maghrib to Adhaan al-Fajr, divided by 2, simple as that. And then you pray in the way. If not, then once you arrive, if in time. For example, you are still in Arafah for whatever reasons, expected or unexpected. You are still in Arafah in time for Maghrib and Isha is going, you pray in Arafah, it's okay. Now you are in Muzdalifah where you stay, nothing specific as such as ibadat apart from you just pray your normal salawat and tend to whatever you need to do. And if you want to just make dua, you have anything, it's okay, nothing wrong in that. After Salatul Fajr is where you start and focus more on dua and allow for specific reasons to specific types of individuals, needy ones, sickly ones, which is part of the needy ones, weak ones, such as the sisters or elderly ones. They may move ahead from Muzdalifah, especially from half the night, in cases even before if need to be. But preference is still at least to stay there till midnight. You may proceed and stay in Mina and wait for the Eid to arrive. They wait for something else, we wait for Eid, of course. هذا يوم النحر, يوم العيد الأكبر, the biggest day of Hajj. This is it, يوم النحر, not يوم Arafah. So this is where you arrive in Dhul Hijjah. This is morning. So this is a very, very busy day. The busiest for any Haji. Too many things to be done and not in one place. It includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. You may restrict it down to 3 or 4. And you may restrict for yourself individually based on custom tailored to 3. So the first is you go and throw the stone on the big shaitan, as they say, right? Al-Aqaba. Just a translation. After that, you tend to your hair, many women go, similar to Umrah. Then you have a good nice shower and change your clothes to normal clothing. Which means the restrictions of Ihram, some of them they finish here, I will mention later. Al-Udhiyah, the Qurban, as we say, Al-Hadi, if you are part of that and you have paid money, you are not worried when it is done, you don't worry about that. That's their duty, they will do it for you, inshallah. You may proceed now to Makkah to do your 3rd and 4th pillar. What is that? Tawaf and Sa'i, Na'am, these 2. This is for Hajj Tamattu'. For Qarin and Mufrid, they have already done their Tawaf and Sa'i before when they came in the beginning, so they only have to do their Tawaf and that's it. After this, now you come back to Mina. You stay in Mina for the rest of the day. Next day, from Ayyam al-Tashriq, those 3, that Eid is not one of those. As we eat, how many days we celebrate Eid? 4 days, nah. So the first one, the Eid day, and the 3 Ayyam al-Tashriq. On these 3 days, you throw the stone on all 3 after Zawal, from the beginning of Zohar time. And if needed, you can proceed till night. And the same procedure for the rest of the days. If you want to do it after throwing stones for 3 days, that's the Yawmun Nahar, and the next 2 you want to go, you are allowed to. If not, then you can stay back for the last one. There are rules and regulations for all of this. I chose not to mention it because I will be waiting for questions. In the duration of all this process, you are required al-mabitu fi Mina. You are required to sleep in Mina. It doesn't mean you really have to go and snow yourself. It means spending the night in Mina. That's what it means. Unless you have responsibilities, duties, which takes you out of Mina, that's a different case. Or else you have to be there. In the duration of the course, if you want to go to the hotel to have a shower, freshen yourselves up, all of those are okay. If you want to delay your tawaf and sa'i of Hajj till later, for whatever reasons, that's also okay. However, once you wear your normal clothes, every form of restriction is lifted, in the exception of husband and wife relationship. It still stays as restricted. Once you do your tawaf and sa'i of Hajj, that is also normal now. So these things are very important to take in consideration if you are in Hajj. Barakallahu fikum. Remember, I heard the Shaykh mentioning about sabr and unity and the objectives part of this, all these things, Yes, without that to achieve Hajj is just not possible. The amazing thing, I was just thinking when Shaykh was mentioning, that we all become like one, right there. But who have to do more sabr there? Those who have been used to luxury life and more money. Because you suffer equally as those who are poor ones. They are already used to hardships. Many of them, they don't even feel it. And for us, mashallah, we have to go to the gym, we have to walk and learn ourselves how to walk before going for Hajj, and still we keep on failing. For them, it's just a normal part of life. They are doing it every day anyway. So, subhanAllah, this is the way it is. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullah khairan. And now I will open it for the questions, so that inshallah I will be able to answer the questions. And if not, then I will carry on till inshallah our Salatul Isha. Barakallahu fikum, jazakumullah khairan. So